The Stinkiest Thing works at the world's most spectacular circus. The circus is so spectacular that audiences refuse to leave after the animals perform. Once, an audience chanted encore for 3 days straight, making the horse horse, the turtle turn turtle, and the seal cartwheel, as it adored the attention. The Stinkiest Thing was hired to appear on stage as the show finished. Nauseated audiences ran for the bathroom and their lives. The Stinkiest Thing feels an enormous sense of pride, knowing it has never failed to lift a bottom off a seat. Until this day, this moment, that child. Row E, seat 12, who's still sitting, who's still smiling, who's now panting like a puppy as it runs toward the Stinkiest Thing. Nothing has ever run towards the Stinkiest Thing in its whole stinkiest life. The child extends an arm. Its warm palm slides gently across the length of the Stinkiest Thing. Feeling touch for the first time, the Stinkiest Thing becomes dizzy with strange tingles. Its stink vanishes. It begins to smell like marshmallows melting in hot chocolate. The child picks up the least stinkiest thing, takes it home, plays with it, loves it. The two are one. They eat together, go to school together, bathe together, and every night snuggle to sleep in each other's dreams. The child becomes a teenager. And every day the teenager needs a little more space. The Stinkiest Thing begins to smell just a little. The space between them grows, and days pass without touch, not even in each other's dreams. The Stinkiest Thing thinks only of the past, before the child became the teenager. The voice in its stinky head screams, "The child stole my life." The Stinkiest Thing corners the teenager. It doesn't need words as hate screams from its eyeballs. It storms out of the house, turning back to the window to enjoy the teenager's pain. The teenager's eyes fill with such sadness that letting the tears fall might drown the whole world. The Stinkiest Thing's heart aches so badly it splits into 1,000 pieces. Without the teenager by their side, the Stinkiest Thing sees a world very different to the one they lived in alone. A world where there are no more animal circuses. A world where everyone has to be somewhere. A world where a curtain falls and backsides rise. A world where the stink is everywhere. On beaches, in forests, killing the oceans. The Stinkiest Thing wanders aimlessly, wrapped in bandages, trying to keep the broken pieces of its heart from falling out its body. It throws itself at children's hands, just a touch to put its heart back together. But children run, pinching their noses, gagging, cursing the stink. This breaks the 1,000 pieces of its heart into dust. A dust that stinks the street, then the city, then the whole world. A team wearing 1 meter thick protective clothing and cement up their nostrils bundle the Stinkiest Thing into a rocket ship and blast it into deep, deep space. The stink leaves planet Earth. For the first time, humanity breathes as one. 3 days later, The rocket ship and the stinkiest thing return with a stinky thud. Written down the side of the ship in big red letters are 3 words, return to sender. Every race, every religion works together, united in purpose, to obliterate the stinkiest thing. Brilliant minds create brilliant ideas, which all fail gloriously. Every failure makes the stinkiest thing more overpowering, more unbearable. People riot. Governments collapse. 7 billion people stampede with such rage, such hate, it fractures the earth. Whole countries fall off planet Earth, dropping off into deep space. 7 billion people run from one falling country to the next until everyone is jam-packed in the Amazon jungle. Except it's no jungle, as a jungle needs trees. Millions of spaceships are built and filled with humans, animals, insects, every living thing that's left on planet Earth. Millions of engines roar as one, shaking, crumbling the Amazon. Millions of rockets fire, taking off, burning the old home in search of the new. The stinkiest thing, balancing on the last cup of dirt that was planet Earth, watches the sky of bright dots drifting off into deep space. As they disappear, they leave a darkness that feels as black and empty as its heart. The stinkiest thing sits in the silence of being the only thing in the whole world. Its tears wet the last grains of dirt beneath it. It jumps, spinning, memories flashing in photographs, falling forever, falling, falling, bang! Landing with this almighty metallic thud, crashing on the end of the universe. No. The side of a rocket ship? The doors open, and the oldest human edges its head out. The oldest human that was a middle-aged human, that was the teenager, that was the child that once sat in row E, seat 12. The oldest human extends an arm. Its warm palm slides gently over the length of the stinkiest thing. The dizzy tingles lose its stink. It begins to smell like marshmallows, melting in hot chocolate. The stinkiest thing enters the rocket ship, and the oldest human flies them back to the last spoonful of dirt that was planet Earth. The oldest human takes a seed and plants it in the dirt and waters it. A green shoot becomes a tree, becomes the most mighty oak. Its roots stretch to forever, hugging and shaping an earth without borders. The roots bring worms, the worms bring birds, the birds bring animals, and animals bring humanity. And in a moment when everything is in perfect harmony, the oldest human looks at the stinkiest thing with sadness. A sadness that says, I cannot hold you in my arms. I cannot take you home. I cannot play with you. I cannot love you. The stinkiest thing leaves the rocket ship. The oldest human looks out the rocket ship window. The stinkiest thing looks in. The oldest human feels its heart. It doesn't need bandages. Stinkiest Thing feels its heart. It doesn't need bandages. The rocket ship blasts off into deep, deep space.